went over this a little bit yesterday, but apparently when I did my recording, it didn't save the video. So I wanted to kind of go over it today a little bit more. Um, I'm going to get my studio set up real quick so I can get the feed. So give me a second here. All right, give me a second. And if you guys have never seen this before and you're interested in contributing to my channel, I appreciate it. I have an Indiegogo campaign running for this. So if you guys are interested in doing that, I've got the link in the description. So give me a second here. Trying to open my live panel here. It's not opening up. I seem to have so many issues with this. Okay. Get my live chat open. Perfect. Okay. So thanks for joining here, guys. So today I'm going to be going over my new app that I built. It's called Hublie. It's hublie.org. It basically is a app to manage your home where like I'm trying to centralize all of the home management services into like one app where like you can track your bills, you can send appreciations to your family members, you can add notes, you can do a kids dashboard, set weekly goals, talk about your nanny or talk to your nanny through the app. If you like have a dog sitter or a pet sitter or a nanny for your kids. So it's basically just a way to manage your dashboard. So as you can see here, and also FYI, this is a beta, so it's still in development. Hopefully I'll be able to release it next month. So the short of it is it's just that kind of system. So in here you'll see like there's a thanks, there's bills, there's calendar, tasks, nanny mode, kids, goals, and so forth. So if you were like, oh, I don't need most of that, you can go in here and turn off appreciations or notes or dashboards, which is kind of cool. And this allows you to kind of give you more of a more optimized app for what you actually want to use it for. You don't have to be a parent. You don't have to be anything. You don't have to be a grandparent or nanny or anything like that. You can just use the app itself. So I'll kind of get into this a little bit. So what's interesting is get back out of here. You can if you're trying to just like use a calendar. I've got like a free plan and a pro plan, where essentially you can like the basic planning includes just like a basic calendar, but the advanced or the pro plan includes like tagging, and you can kind of curate different events and like do the search functionality within that and the scope of it. So it can be it's more advanced. It gives you suggestions about what you might want to do on the weekend, things like that. So, but for the most part, this is like a test. So basically you just go in here and you set your date and your time, and you add the event, and now you have an event for the day or whenever. So it kind of tracks that. It gives you notifications, things like that. What's cool, so if you do have kids, you can set or access to like a nanny with like emergency contacts, medications. So I'm just pulling some name out of my head. do Lara, just as an example, one puff, and then you can do daily or whatever, and then any special instructions, right? And you add that medication. So now, let's say you're going out on a date night with your wife or husband or whatever, or boyfriend, and you're like, want your nanny to access this, you just generate an access code, you copy that code and send them that link, and bam, they have access to this, only this dashboard. So that's kind of cool. And this was like a feature that I really want to get in there because it's, it's just very helpful. If you have access codes, and these are all just default, like these are not actual real codes, so don't worry. But you can look at those codes, and I've got this in there for some reason, but I remember I updated that. So this gives you the access codes for like anything for the house. So that's kind of cool. And then you could set like weekly goals, add wins to the household, and it's going to be updated. And then you've got, and if anybody wants to post in the chat any thoughts or whatever, or comments, just like send me something. I'm happy to go over stuff. The other thing I want to say too is like, I do have an Indiegogo campaign running for this, so it's the link is in the description if anybody wants to contribute to this, and I've got discounts. So the other cool thing about this is you can add bills. You can track bills for the month or weeks. You can see your payment progress. So you go down here and you're like electric bill or whatever. I don't know. I'm just like, I'll see here, insurance or whatever. And you put the dollar amount in here. It'd be really cheap insurance. You can set the date for that. You can select insurance or whatever category here. See? You can select who you want to pay. I'm going to get rid of this requirement here, but you can assign it to somebody. You can do a recurring bill once every month and make it recurring, and then you add that bill and you check that out. So now you get a recurring bill. You can generate the next bill for the next month. You can set it auto. You can mark it as paid, and the UI is a little weird right now, but like I'm fixing that. You can hit the next bill, mark as paid. That does work. Undo payment. And then this gives you a total amount that you're still paying for the month. So you can just mark these off as you go along or get the notification and just close that out. I've got a kind of a how-to section. You've got, regular bills, one-time bills like credit card payments or regular expenses, recurring bills for like rent, utilities, subscriptions. And then what's cool is you can track this as like, let's say for instance, you are looking at your bills for the month and you're just thinking, you're looking at this going, well, I've got lots of bills, and let's say the next month's bill is a little higher. Well, it'll show you the change. It'll show you the change in the bill. So you can be like, well, why is this bill higher this month? And you can track that. So this is like it should be, pretty intuitive, I feel like. Sorry, I'm trying to get my chat back up here. And so like, it's supposed to be pretty intuitive, and I just want to make sure you guys see this, and I want some thoughts around it because I've been building this for a while, and I want to just get some feedback from an Indiegogo campaign and just user experience. You can update your household, so you say, I've got, let's say it goes from Jim's house to like Todd's house. I don't know. And then you update the household. And now, when you go back there, you go, oh, managing Todd's house. You could add kids without having an email requirement. So that's basically it. You can track notes. You can pin them. You can delete them. You can add family notes. You can send an appreciation. So if I'm going to send this from, and I'm going to have this just as a default from is going to be the person that's, sending a note. If you send it to your kid or whatever, you send that appreciation. And now it sends that, and you can remove the love or the like. You could add comments to it. See? And then that's it. So like I don't know. It should be pretty intuitive. So feel free to leave a message in the live chat if you like this, if you have any thoughts around it, if you think you could use it. That would be super helpful and appreciated. I'm going to be adding more functionality to this and like have stuff for teenagers to be more engaged, like picking stuff for the week. I've got like a whole release schedule. I'll go over that real quick too. So if you guys are interested. So like my plan is to well, I'll go over what I've got so far. So like the idea behind it is it's a collaboration app for families that are basically designed to reduce that chaos and increase connection. So that's the whole point of this. So like parents, partners, nannies, kids, even grandparents can stay in sync without the mental gymnastics. So you can share calendars, you can share notes, recurring bills, assign and track chores and tasks based on roles, stuff like that. So that's kind of how this works. And so my goal for this later on is to um, have a better system for the family. And I'm not a big tech company. I'm one guy. I'm a parent building a tool for families, right? So like with real needs, limited time, and lots of love. Um, and so I'll go over my updates real quick. So I'm working through some bugs. Uh, and so what I want to work on next is onboarding and user experience. I'm looking at my notes right now, so I'm looking off screen. But role-based tutorials show how to quick tips and or mini tour based on the user's role. So like a tutorial, kid-friendly features that uses simple kid accounts. So, a parent can create a kid's profile just with the name, avatar, and PIN, no email needed. And then that kid would have a login screen to log in as the child or the child's name. And then they could select their avatar and enter their PIN. And then basically having another other for more inclusivity, like a roommate or housemate, because I don't want to just be parents only. A weekly recap automation where it essentially does family wins for you. It's got a summary of highlights, completed goals, and fun stats. Shared memories, where you'll allow families to add photos and notes to the weekly recap or create a digital family vault or scrapbook. So like you can post pictures and stuff like that on here and just keep a track of family stuff because it's a centralized hub for everything. And so then you've got like something like shared memories, polls and votes. So you can let families create quick polls like what's for dinner to encourage participation for all ages. Because who likes making dinner and family nights? It makes it a little bit more fun. So that's this whole point of this thing. For the calendar, I'm going to do like smart suggestions. Let's look at the calendar here. So I'm going to have like smart suggestions where you can like suggest family activities or reminders based on the calendar. For instance, like who is great at remembering birthdays? I'm not good at remembering birthdays, so I'm gonna have some functionality in there to like give me gentle reminders for like the upcoming week, things that I might have scheduled, things that are happening that I may not be aware of. So I want it to be smarter than Google Calendar because I think Google Calendar is it's great and all, but it doesn't really function as well as I want it to. So I'm trying to build it out in a way that's it's a little bit more aligned with people and how they kind of live. Um, the Pro plan is going to have like notifications and reminders, more granular control where the user can choose notification types for like events, chores, etc. And then like for push notifications, it's going to have notifications reminders where our quiet hours where you can have like a do not disturb function setting for notifications during certain hours. So like you want to turn off the notifications for bedtime, you can do that. It's going to have that granular control. You can change admin control for the ownership of the house. You can approve, restrict what kids and nannies can see. You can export all your data. So like, let's say you've got all this stuff like in the calendar, and you're like sitting there going, well, I don't want to use this calendar anymore. You can export it as like a Word doc or an Excel doc, and you can import it to Google Calendars if you want to port it over. Um, and then, I also want to have medications with a label to cover myself legally. Call 911 in a case of emergency. Dosages are going to be actually have dosages or dosage for medications, frequency, whatnot. And I will have a push notifications, and hopefully, eventually, I will actually have some put this on Google Store and Google Play and iOS. So I ask you guys to add some comments into this. Hit you like. I don't understand. Bricks. So putting in the chat, I don't get it. Sorry. So if you like this, I ask you to just check out my Indiegogo campaign in the description, and just give me some feedback if you're interested in what I'm doing. So it's going to help me as a developer, a new developer building an app from scratch. It takes a lot of work to do this. I also work in security, so like it's very very important that I have security functions built in, so that way data is not exposed. And I'm also trying to get away kind of from social media a little bit for this, because like I don't want tie-ins to Facebook and Google and all that stuff, because I think I don't know, I'm not a big fan of social media. So I want an app that kind of pulls away from that a little bit and centralizes like family focus. So I appreciate the like, whoever put that out there. If you have any questions for me, I will be around. You can always leave a comment in the chat or leave a comment on the video when I post this. And there's more functionality and stuff coming out, guys. So I hope you will like what you see. If you have any questions or comments, just reach out, okay? Thanks.